For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ramona Petrella Cummings. I am the founder and director of a nonprofit ministry called Project Hope for the Children. We work primarily in Romania. And today I wanted to give you an update for the year. Typically I go around from church to church and give live updates, but during the coronavirus, we're all in quarantine. And while you were a church that was sort of farther down on the list, you kind of missed our visit before quarantine started. So it was suggested that I try to do this, and I'm going to try to do it to the best of my ability. So I hope you can see the screens, and I hope you can hear me, and it might just give you a little idea of what we've been doing in the past year. So to start off, we had a different presentation table. I wanted to point out this year that not only do we do the baby supplies for the hospital, but we also provide a large amount of food and hygiene products for the after-school program that we work with, for a co-op for villagers that we work with, as well as a home for foster children. So we do a lot of this as well, and I wanted to kind of bring that in so that people understood kind of the shift. As the culture shifts in Romania, we try to shift our ministry to be of the most use and the most help. As I said, I had started speaking already, and so this was one of the events that I was at. And then here was the table again, where I had set up the different food and hygiene products and the things that I sell over here in the hospital supplies. Now in the fall, we started our first ever November service trip, where I was able to take over a group of women and introduce them to Romania. And it was just such a blessing for me to be able to share my passion with these women. We went first to the hospital in Sibiu, and we worked with the children there. We worked in the preschool unit and played with some of the little ones that were there. And we were able to decorate the walls and kind of bring some color to the room as well. We went on a shopping trip, and we purchased some new books, some Play-Doh, some stuffed animals, some dolls, different things to keep the children occupied when there aren't adults in the room to watch them. One of the things that we know is that the nurses at that hospital have to provide their own thermometers, and they were actually getting kind of low. So I offered to go out and I bought some more of the simple thermometers, and this time I purchased a more expensive brand. This is more of a laser type, and they're going to try it out and see if it's something that they like, and then we might be able to provide more for them. While we were at the hospital, we actually stayed at an orphanage near Sibiu, and we asked that organization if there was something that we could do to help. And what they asked us to do was to sort and organize all these bags of clothes that had been donated. So the women were super efficient. They went right to work, and they organized all of these clothes to be either given away or to be kept for the children that were living at the orphanage. Later on in the trip, we went to the after-school program up in Oradea that we help with, and the women had organized different crafts. Here they were coloring some crosses and such. There's about 50 children that attend this after-school program, and they took some pictures of the children. They made picture frames for them. It was just a really exciting night. The kids loved it. The women loved it. It was a really large village event. You can see the smiles on their faces. We also managed to fit in some time for some tourism and cultural learning while we were there. And it was just a pleasure to show the ladies around my favorite country. Now we've had some changes to the structure of Project Hope for the Children. Alina was our employee for many, many years, and she recently retired. And so we needed to find somebody new to be the director of our Romanian operations. And so here you have Andrea. She's actually an American missionary that's been living over in Romania for several years now, and she has now taken over as our part-time employee. And then Dora was our maternal assistant that was working in the hospital in Sibiu. She too had to resign for various reasons, and we have yet to find somebody to replace her. But her mother, Cornelia, has been our volunteer nurse liaison for many years, and she still continues to do a great job there. We also have had a new addition. She's a Fabius resident, Natalie Brabant. She is our new treasurer, and she'll be taking over some of the duties slowly as we transition over to, we have more needs, and their former treasurer needed to step back. So Natalie has come on our board now, and we're very excited to have her. Now, with all the COVID-19 and the things happening there, we have been concerned about what's been going on in Romania. I recently received an email from Cornelia, our nurse, and she said that we only have an average of 2 or 3 babies this winter because of the coronavirus. So last year we averaged 30 babies a month in the hospital. Now we're averaging 2 or 3. So thankfully, all the supplies that I purchased in November have been used very slowly. And while I can't get over there right now to do my purchasing trip, the supplies are still doing well. So that was a praise. Here we are with our empty cribs. We're ready for the new babies to come in. Now, one of the things that has come up during the coronavirus is the need for food. As I told you, we work with the after-school program in one of the villages, and they have about 50 children attending. Those children belong to about 40, 45 families in the village, and their parents have been without jobs. Some of them work in a mushroom factory, some of them sweep the streets, very limited jobs because they have no education whatsoever. So when coronavirus hit and the quarantine went into place, they had no income coming in. And I found out that many of these villagers had no food. So not only were the children not getting their one really good meal a day at school because they could no longer go, but their families had absolutely no food at home either. So Project Hope for the Children was able to send over some money. We were able to purchase food, and after a small wait time, we were able to hand that food out. And so here are some pictures of the villagers receiving the food. A little boy with his bread. This woman was pretty overcome. It looks like she got maybe a 10-pound bag of potatoes, and she was crying over it. And as you can see in the background, these are the homes that they live in. This is one of the poorest gypsy villages in our county in Romania. We have actually shopped 3 times now for this village, and we will be going out again and having to do it because this quarantine just keeps extending. The last time we shopped, we sent $500 over, and I found out that that $500 actually fed 45 families. They had 2 bags each from the store, and that food was like a packet of chicken, 5 kilos of potatoes, 1 kilo of rice. I think there was a little oil in there, a little flour. It was very meager, but there was able to feed 45 families. Now this gentleman in the middle, he's very special. He is the elected representative in the village, and he's very well loved. And the reason this man is well loved is because he cares for everybody in that town. It's not just the Romanians, not just the Hungarians, but also the Roma people. And so when he heard that we were going out on another trip to deliver food, he went with them. And he touched and he loved on each one of those people to know that they meant something in that town. And that really touched me, because I know that when I am giving supplies to this organization, it's backed by the government. And that's something that you don't often find. One of the projects that Marius, the director of the after-school program, is trying to do is he's trying to start a mini farm. And he wanted to do that because they're feeding 50 children a day, and it gets quite expensive. So somebody gave them recently a couple sheep, somebody gave them a cow, and then one of our donors recently sent money over so that he could buy a nanny goat. And so he wanted to send a picture of the goat and its baby. This goat will provide milk, it'll provide cheese, it'll provide all sorts of things for the children once they start going back to school again. Now, we had just received a brand new shipment of joy beads before the quarantine started, and we have a lovely variety this year. So I thought I would share some pictures of them. I do have them here at my house. If anybody wants to contact me, I can show you them over the phone, or you can come to the doorstep if you want. But we do have these beautiful joy beads. They're $20 a piece. They go to help the women that make the joy beads, and therefore provide for them. So they're able, when you purchase these, they're able to get a salary, which then enables them to go to the co-op that we supply and purchase food and other hygiene products for a much cheaper price. And it keeps their family from begging on the streets. So we've been busy. Another thing that we have been praying about is opening up something in Puerto Rico. I have been discussing with a director of a deaf school down there, possibly trying to locate deaf orphans at the different orphanages. And if we can find them, Project Hope for the Children would then try to sponsor that child to live at the school and to be educated, not only spiritually, but academically as well. We're very excited about this. The director has been making some calls, but being in the quarantine, it's very hard right now to make the calls that are needed and to not just focus on their immediate needs of food, but actually trying to find the deaf students that we do need. We also have located a few orphanages down there that seem to be really respectful. They seem to know exactly what their children need, and they actually have lists of items that they need for the orphanage. And that's something that we're going to be looking into. It would be a very easy way to establish a relationship with some of those orphanages and to be able to provide for them in the needs that they have. So we're praying about this opportunity. We're excited about this opportunity. And we're just waiting until the quarantine lifts so that we can really start moving on it. Now, I was supposed to be going on a trip. I was actually supposed to be gone and come back by now. I obviously had to postpone it. So I was slated again to leave May 29th, but because the bans are just lifting over in Romania, very similar to New York, they won't let me into the country yet. So I'm trying to postpone once again. I'm hoping to be over there in maybe July or August, because I'm afraid that the second wave they've been talking about will come back in the fall. So I do want to get over there still. I want to check in at the hospital if they let me. I want to be able to check in with our new employee, offer her support, kind of show her the ropes a little bit. Visit each one of those foundations and see what their needs are, especially if it does come back in the fall, and just try to make the contact that's needed. So if you would just pray, I'm having a really difficult time accessing the company that I got the tickets from, and then trying to postpone that trip. I don't want to waste money, and if I do cancel the ticket, they will fine me, which is unfortunate. So I'm trying to do the best that we can financially. If you guys have any interest at all in funding the village project that we're working on with the food, we would love that. Like I said, we have been out shopping several times, and feeding that many people is very expensive. We also have just our normal needs to meet our normal budget still. So we are still accepting money and accepting donations. You can donate via PayPal. Here's our website, projecthopeforthechildren.org. We have a donate button that links you right to PayPal for that. If you want to memo it for the village food, please do so. If it's just for general donations, you can memo it that way as well. You can also send a check. Project Hope for the Children, 6983 Chase Road, Fabius, New York, 13063. We would be really appreciative of that. We just covet your prayers. We love the support that you give us year after year, and we appreciate all you do for us. Thank you so much, and have a great day.